Hello everyone. We have with us today veteran director Mani Ratnam and Mr. Jayendra Panchapakeshan. Okay. And why Navarasa as the theme?
You have anything against it?
It is really the industry emotionally came together, isn't it?
Okay.
It is very spontaneous emotional support for the colleagues in the industry. So I think even from that perspective, it really makes sense.
I think as a filmmaker, ideally you would love to look at a time when there is no censor.
Yeah, it gave us the range of emotions.
That's great. To begin with, I believe that the proceeds from this film will be going to FEFC employees, and nobody who's worked on the film has actually taken remuneration.
Yes, that's true. Actually, when the pandemic started and we realized it's going to be a long haul, especially for the film industry. For many months when the industry was not working and the workers were put into a lot of trouble, Mani and I started discussing about what we can do to support the workers in the industry through this pandemic. And this idea of doing an anthology for Netflix was born out of a discussion one evening, and we started to take that and talk about it to our colleagues in the industry, and so many of them readily came forward to participate in that. Probably Mani can share more on that.
Yeah, I think it was wonderful to see. Once we just explained the idea to them, and all of them came on board, and they're willing to give everything. So it's fantastic to have, an industry coming together to support itself. So it's a huge initiative, and it's a tremendous response from Tamil industry, which is showing that the industry can take care of itself in a lot of crises.
Right. And why Navarasa as the theme?
You have anything against it?
No, I was just curious to know what went behind that idea, because nine emotions, so it sounds really interesting, and especially we are in the pandemic times when everybody is getting really emotional about several things. So I was just curious to know if the what the thought process behind that was.
No, it's exactly what you're saying. It's at this time, pandemic, and we are planning an anthology. So Navarasa seemed to be an ideal fit because emotions. It dealt with all of us. We're going through various emotions, even at the same time. And so it was easy to consider that as an option, and as an idea, and to do 9 different films based on 9 different emotions. And once we bounced that idea with both Netflix and with the filmmakers, and all of them were on. So that's how it came about.
Okay.
It is really the industry emotionally came together, isn't it?
Okay.
It is very spontaneous emotional support for the colleagues in the industry. So I think even from that perspective, it really makes sense.
So I'm curious to know about shooting during a pandemic from the point of view of producers. Did it make the whole thing more expensive, or was it more cost effective for you working with smaller teams?
It was more care needed to be taken. Our priority was to make sure that everyone who was working was fully protected, and all the safety measures were taken. So it was entirely additional huge responsibility, and each of the film units worked within, keeping that in mind, both actors and the technician and the crew. So it was completely different, and it had a lot of care and a lot of effort that went into it.
So did you have to build like a bio bubble on the sets?
Yes, we did. We did. Everyone who went to work part of this team really had to get their tested, and then it was like a bio bubble that each crew was that. On one side, we had this cause for the industry, which we needed to raise a lot of money to support the workers. On the other hand, we also wanted to make this industry effort a very, very high quality one that the industry is proud of. So I think it was a tremendous pressure on all the directors to meet both the needs. Shoot films at a very economical cost, at the same time not compromise on quality and give very, very good films.
So the list of directors is quite interesting. There are veterans like Priyadarshan and relatively new directors like Sarjun. And of course, Arvind Swamy is also directing a segment. So what were you looking for when you put together this list?
Navarasas?
Yeah.
From,
Okay.
from somebody who's seasoned to somebody who's, new and energetic. And so I think the themes were so different that it could take in different kinds of energy. So we were open. I think once you take on a product, doesn't matter whether you've done 10 before or 1,000 before, it still is a new project. And when the person who's making it is committed and is willing to give his best, then it's all the same.
Both of you are filmmakers. So personally, which emotion of the Navarasas would you find challenging to portray on screen?
Everything, anything. I think to put an idea across on screen effectively is a challenge. However, it is, and to kind of highlight one rasa, in a fashion that it doesn't stand out totally, but in contrast with the others that are around. It takes a lot of skill and writing to be able to bring it in a precise fashion. And we had all these 9 guys who were very good at it, and they put it together.
How about you, sir?
I would say that some of them are ready picks for people. As soon as we said the Navarasas, there was somebody who was ready to do peace, or somebody who was ready to do anger, or there were favorites, and there were not so favorites. I would say that some emotions were taken on later.
So this is probably the biggest Tamil anthology film to be directly made for OTT. You have stars like Surya and Vijay Sethupathi and Parvati in the cast. Usually in the Tamil film industry, when it's a big star film, the story revolves around this person for nearly 3 hours, and they fill the screen in every frame. But that's not how it works in a project like this. Happened because of the pandemic, or do you feel that stars are now more open to experimenting when it comes to OTT?
I think in this case, we are doing an anthology, and each one is around 30 to 40 minutes. This is not what stars do day in and day out. It's special. They come out and they've done this, in between, out of the urge to do something for the film industry. So it is a effort, it is a contribution which each one of them have made to be willing to do something which is outside their regular comfort zone. And we are really grateful to all of them.
So there's a lot of discussion now on the need to be inclusive, and whether it's your cast or whether it's the crew, and the kind of stories that are being told on screen as well. There's a lot of emphasis on diversity, especially when you come to the not only a pan-Indian audience but also an international audience. So you've been in the industry for decades. Both of you have closely followed the changes in the industry. So what is your view on this? Do you feel that filmmakers need to consider all of this when they make a film?
The way I see it is that you have to take this into consideration in life. Forget films, but in life, you have to believe in it, you have to work towards it, and you have to welcome it. And if you do it in life, in your everyday life, it'll automatically reflect in your work. We don't have to have this in front only for your work, only for films. But I think it should be a part of each one of us.
And I think more we see it everywhere around us, it will reflect in the films too.
So what do you feel about cinema and social media discussions on films? Because earlier we would have a film coming out and then there would be a few paragraphs on the Friday paper, but these days within hours of a film coming out, we have opinions and debates and controversies happening.
It's a trend that is there to stay. No, I mean,
Okay.
people view and people have opinions and they will share. Before they used to do it at the bus stop, at a tea shop, at street corners and at home or telephone. Now we have a media where they can share it across anybody and everybody. So we make sure our product is good enough that we are able to understand and get a feedback from these things and incorporate it in future.
Yeah, yeah. Social media is good and bad. Like you can't say it's bad or you can't say it's good. It has a mix of both, and I think we have to accept that, right? And and really see it as reality.
So, as filmmakers and people who are in cinema, so there's so much censorship also happening around us in recent times, and the cinematograph bill is in the news now, and people from the industry have been reacting to it. So, what is your view on this?
I think as a filmmaker, ideally you'd love to look at a time when there's no censor. The censorship is individual and each one is responsible enough, to make sure that their product is fair. I mean, that will be the ideal scenario. And so anything which is moving towards that will be fantastic.
So, you want to weigh in?
I think covers it all. I think everybody has to be responsible enough to self-censor what they do.
So, enough of the serious stuff then. Can you tell us what you have been doing to keep yourselves sane and healthy during the pandemic?
We made Navarasa. We made
Yeah,
Navarasa. That kept us sane, healthy, and occupied and troubled everything.
Okay.
yeah. It gave us the range of emotions.
That's great. And what do you plan to do once this whole nightmare is over? What will be your first thing that you need to do? I know Mani sir has Ponniyin Selvan that's coming up.
Yeah, I'm just dying to get back to work. I'll do that.
I think all of us are ready. The pandemic sitting at home has given us enough time to write. Now I think we have to get out there and make some films.
Okay. And of the 9 films, do you have a favorite? Can you tell us if that's possible?
It's very difficult to pick one because everything is so different. Each emotion is so different. So you really can't say that this emotion is better than that or anything like that. So I think everything really fits the emotion that they have portrayed. Yeah.
And what is nice is because it gives you a variety. One film is not like the next one. It is completely different in the way it's set and the genre it works under. So it's really a spectrum. So in that sense, each one is very nice, to have produced each one of them.
Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. And I'm sure that this will be a wonderful film, and I really look forward to watching it. Thank you.
Thank you.